This week in Women in Sports, Paige Bueckers will officially be making buckets in the WNBA. The Minnesota native was the #1 pick in the draft this week, where she's headed next and how Lynx fans feel about it. Plus, 4 female athletes made this year's Time 100 Most Influential Peoples list, one of them with ties to Minnesota. And the PWHL is wrapping up their regular season after more continued historic success. New this year, some of the pros made their way to Minnesota to inspire the next generation. And a northern Minnesota gymnastics coach made a huge impact on her community, but now she needs their help as she battles cancer. How the athletes she touched are showing their support.
WCCO's Women in Sports, sponsored by Franson Bank and Trust.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Marielle Mohs, and here at WCCO, we are celebrating the highlights of female athletes in this new digital segment called Women in Sports. We'll share new stories with you every week right here as we do our part to give these athletes the recognition they deserve. First up, from hoops and Hopkins to the WNBA, we now know where Paige Bueckers will start her pro basketball career. And it was a monumental moment on Monday when the Hopkins native snagged the spotlight as the #1 overall pick by the Dallas Wings. Bueckers says it's bittersweet leaving her Husky teammates at UConn, but she's excited for her next journey to begin.
I don't want to take this for granted. I've been focusing a lot about being present and being where my feet are. So to be at this stage, to be here, to have a lot of my supporters here and people who've helped me get here, it just means everything to me.
Bueckers also plans on playing in Napheesa Collier's newly formed 3-on-3 league, Unrivaled. Lynx fans packed the house to watch Paige and the draft Monday night. I was there to see the big reaction.
The Dallas Wings select Paige Bueckers, University of Connecticut.
Excited for Paige and Minnesota and just basketball, women's basketball in general.
Always pulling for Paige and hoping, maybe 4 years down the road, just like Lindsay Whalen, that she might find her way home.
While the Lynx didn't acquire the hometown player, they will actually be playing against her in Dallas in the season opener and again here at Target Center for the home opener.
We're going to just try to, make her first game miserable. That's our goal.
Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve and her staff traded away their first-round pick. Reeve says keeping all 5 starters from last year gives her confidence.
I know it's big. It allowed us to make the move that we did prior to the draft. Having the core back, gives you the flexibility to do different things.
The season ticket holder crowd here at Target Center Monday night more than doubled from last year.
Just from last season, they had such a great game, and I thought we should be season ticket holders.
Lynx newcomer Grace Berger is excited to play for a fan base that she used to have to play against.
They truly do have a 6-man in the stands. They get loud, they get rowdy, they love their Lynx basketball, so I'm excited to join that.
The Lynx start their new season in May, coming off a trip to the WNBA Finals, and fans are ready for what's ahead.
I'm excited to see the new team get together and just dominate like they always do.
Ready for revenge.
Calling it the Revenge Tour 2025. And it's safe to say basketball fans in the Lone Star State are pumped. And so are Texas businesses, hoping to see fans spending more money on game nights.
Particularly after the move to downtown Dallas, I would anticipate an increase in spending on nearby restaurants and bars. I would expect more revenue going to rideshare companies, taxis, more use of DART. I think that ticket prices will, again, be perhaps more affordable than going to see the Dallas Mavericks, and certainly the Cowboys. But the prices, I suspect, will be going up. I think, again, that's just natural.
And Wings fans say they're ready for the Paige Bueckers era.
It's exciting. I mean, Dallas, #1 pick, and we want to be a #1 team.
Everybody's very excited for her. So having that for the WNBA just sets so many new, just history for all the kids that are going to go into the WNBA and for college basketball. I just think it's insane. I'm going to be bringing my friends to these games.
All right, enough of Texas. Coming back here to Minnesota, Bueckers' hometown is getting in on the celebration too. Hopkins is changing its name to Paige Bueckers, Minnesota on May 16th, which is the opening day for the WNBA this season. And as mentioned earlier, the Wings will be hosting the Minnesota Lynx that night. And in case you're wondering, training camps for the 2025 season will begin on April 27th. Preseason play will begin on May 2nd. And the Lynx' first preseason game will be on May 6th against the Chicago Sky. Well, speaking of the Lynx, the team did make some moves on draft night, even though they didn't have a first-round pick. Instead, they traded with Washington for Carly Samuelson, an intelligent three-point shooter who will be brought on to up their offense. And taking a look at the picks the other picks the Lynx made, they selected 3 forwards in round 2 with the 15th overall pick with Anastasia Olari-Kosu from Russia. The Lynx also drafted Delilah Daniels from the University of Washington for the 24th overall pick, and in the 37th pick, the Lynx selected Aubrey Griffin from UConn. Now let's talk a little bit about salaries, because the draft was a major step in Bueckers' basketball career, but financially it's more of a minor step, at least when it comes to salaries for the professional athletes. Bueckers' base salary in year 1 will be just under $79,000. It goes up a few thousand each year over the course of her 4-year contract, worth $348,000. That is drastically lower than what the #1 overall pick in the NBA is projected to earn. The 1-year salary is $13.8 million, with a 4-year contract totaling $62.7 million. Of course, though, the NBA generates significantly more money than the W and has a much longer season. According to Sportico, the average NBA team generated $387 million last season. That's 20 times higher than the average W team, and at just $18 million. Now, this has been a long topic of conversation, one that got heightened last year when superstar Caitlin Clark entered the W. But both will be eligible to land record contracts for the league in the next 3 to 4 years. And this season, Kelsey Mitchell with the Indiana Fever will make $249,000. That's the highest salary for the year across the league. And you know this name, Napheesa Collier will be the highest paid Lynx player and the 12th highest in the league at $214,000. That's a lot of money to the average person, but it pales in comparison to the men's professional leagues. The WNBA has other avenues to pay players. One is the Player Marketing Agreement, or PMA. Instead of playing overseas in the offseason to make more money, the W pays a small group of players to stay here in the U.S. and market the league through special events, ad campaigns, and social media. They can make up to $250,000 if picked for this program. And Collier did this for 2 off seasons. Still, the players feel with the league's growth that they deserve higher salaries, and soon. Their collective bargaining agreement was set to end after the 2027 season, but they opted out of it and will instead start negotiating a new deal after this upcoming season, which could be a huge turning point for player compensation in the WNBA. Well, history in the making. We've talked a lot about the big mark that the PWHL is making in the growth of women's sports, and hockey specifically. But new this season, the pros are getting out in the community when they're not competing to motivate a new generation. Inside this Minnesota ice rink, girls are growing the game of hockey, with the pros cheering them on. The first of its kind professional women's hockey league launched in 2023 and has 6 teams from the U.S. and Canada, with plans to expand in coming years. It's only in its 2nd season, but it's already shattering records for women's sports. Amy Shear is the league's executive vice president of business operations.
Our attendance is up almost 35%. We hit our 1,000,000th fan 14 months into our existence, and it shows that there is a place for women's hockey in the sports ecosphere.
The league reached a new milestone this month, hosting its first Breakthrough Cup tournament, with over 600 girls 18 and under competing.
I was so excited to meet the PWHL players.
I'm Abby, how are you?
Montreal Victoire forward Abby Barine got to be back in the rink where she grew up playing.
I just want to be like the best role model for them.
Alongside Minnesota Frost goalie Maddie Rooney.
So what's it like for you to be at a tournament like this?
Truly puts a smile on my face. I remember when I was a youth player and was able to connect with players older than me. So the fact that I could be that to someone younger it's really special.
The pros represent a new dream for these young players.
I want to be just like all of them. I really want to play in PWHL hockey. I want to be just like them when I grow up.
Hockey mom Heather Bushhouse drove her 3 daughters from Kansas City to Minnesota to be there.
When I was growing up, I didn't have these opportunities. I just see all of these opportunities just becoming this huge pyramid of what my kids' kids will do. And it's really cool.
The excitement around the league felt by players and fans alike.
I cry at probably every game at some point, just because you can't believe what you're building and the reception that you're getting from fans.
And on the ice, a special moment this next generation won't soon forget.
The fact that this is truly just going to grow from here, the sky's the limit.
Growing the game and their goals. Now let's get back to the topic of drafts for just a minute now, because we're just months away from the PWHL draft. Earlier this week, the league announced its third annual entry draft will be held in Ottawa on June 24th. One of the top elections is expected to be the University of Wisconsin's Casey O'Brien, following her MVP senior season. What's yet to be determined, though, is how many teams will be participating in the draft, with the 6-team league having yet to announce its decision on whether to expand by as many as 2 franchises. 4 American female athletes are among the 100 most influential people in the world, according to this year's list from Time magazine. Among them are basketball stars Napheesa Collier and Breanna Stewart. The basketball duo made the list partially for founding Unrivaled. Tennis legend Serena Williams was one of the 5 people who made one of the covers. This is the 3rd time she's made the list. And the 4th American female athlete is gymnastics star Simone Biles. Well, back here in Minnesota, a gymnastics community in Grand Rapids is giving back to the founder of a gym who brought it to life more than 2 decades ago. In 2020, Andrea Hassel was diagnosed with breast cancer, and after years of treatment, the cancer has spread. Her community teamed up to build a garden by the gym in her honor, so her name will always live on.
Andrea has taught these girls way more than gymnastics. She's taught them how to be determined, have courage, persevere when things are hard. And those are all things that will last a lifetime and those girls will hang on to.
Obviously the sport's like a passion, but if it weren't for the people, we wouldn't be here.
I feel like it's like a little sliver of something we can do to give back to her, because she's given us and so many other people so much.
So a garden in general is just a place for calm and joy and happiness, and I really feel like that really embodies Andrea's spirit and what she gives to the community.
The garden will be complete with trees, a pond, bridges, and even fruits and vegetables chosen by the youngest gymnast. Hassel is still going through treatment, and we wish her nothing but the best. Thanks for watching this week's Women in Sports. We'll be back with more great stories next week. I'm Marielle Mohs.